Yeah, hello and welcome. We are having another guest today. We are having Andreas Buhlmann of Klickenabend here. And well, this is, as you can imagine, another episode of our weekly Spielworxx chat. So, hello, Andreas, how are you?
I'm fine. Greetings from Frankfurt, Germany.
Very well. So, but before we start with Andreas, here are a few Spielworxx news. So, the Spielworxx online convention, which will be held on October 9 and 10, will be named Conworks. So, Conworks will be the name, and thank you, Dimitrios, for suggesting that name. And the program is almost complete, and there will be a few spots for online gaming available, but I will list the full program of that Conworks very soon. And at the same time, I decided to not participate in Spiel Digital. So, but I can just say that I really wish the Merz Verlag and the wonderful team a lot of success. I think it is important. It's, in my opinion at least, just not something for Spielworxx. And finally, please watch the news section of my website in the next couple of days. I will have a handful of Grand Trunk Journey copies available again here in Europe, and just really, it's a handful, not more. And when they are gone for good. But now back to Andreas. So please give us some personal background of you.
I'm a gamer by heart. I love board games. I love the board game industry. I started to play board games since almost ever, I guess. I played with my parents since I was a child. And due to the fact that my father had some photo stuff around, we had some very unusual board games at home as well. So for me, it was pretty normal. And then the whole Settlers of Catan series began, and I was finished with my school, and I started my first job in Munich, and I was 3 to 4 hours away from my girlfriend, which is now my wife. So I had a lot of free time, and I used the free time for my hobbies. One of the hobbies was at that point of time card tricks and magic. And I also was a lot of in the internet. And some guys asked me if I wanted to help for a news website called Klickenabend. And I said, all right, what do I have to do? And they just told me, oh, would be nice if you put out 10 news each day. Oh, all right. So I started to go on Google and on Board Game Geek and look for new stuff, and just triggered new stuff. And after a while, we did videos and reviews, and then I was inside the scene, and I loved it even more. So
Yeah,
that's me
so so
in a
so
nutshell.
Andreas, you are a very young person, but you see,
Hmm.
every viewer sees that he is already a hobby veteran. And by the way, if you have any question, mainly on something that Andreas is mentioning, please put it in the chat window. We'll try to respond later. But which types of games do you prefer personally? So which games do you like to play best?
That's always a very hard question. If you are a real gamer, normally I say all kinds of games. It just has to be a good game. So it can be a silly game, but it has to be a good silly game. It can be a family or board game, expert game, even an uli game. It just has to be a good one. And it's pretty hard to tell when a game is good. I prefer a game when I can relax, or I prefer a game when I'm into the scene and I just enjoy the time with my friends on the table. If it's such a kind of game, I love it. It can be a role playing game, card game, dice game. I don't care.
Yeah, that is. I agree. The thing is spending time with your friends, and so games are a means to communicate. To we are sitting together at the table. Maybe not right now, sitting all together at the table, but normally this is really something. But Andreas, you mentioned Klickenabend.de earlier, and if you are not do not know Klickenabend.de, This is a German language tabletop gaming website that not only has news on games and not only lists games, but I did my research. So this morning there were 4,763 videos that Klickenabend has posted on gaming. So why did you found Klickenabend, and what was the reason? And when did you found it?
I didn't found it. Two other guys, a guy and his girlfriend, founded it, and I came as a news guy to them. Then they had some fight after some years, and they asked if I can do it by myself. I said yes, I try. I couldn't. Then I did get Jörg to us, who helped us a few years, and then he's doing his thing now. And now I have a guy who's called Matthias, and I've got some friends who helped me a lot of times. So one of our best friends, Mario and Nikki, helped me a lot. My wife helps us a lot, and we have got an administrator who helps us a lot. So we have got a lot of guys think Klickenabend is a team out of 60 people. That's not right. It's me and another guy and our friends who helps us. That's all. The board game website for our English viewers, German is a very hard language. Klickenabend means a group of people who plays games in the evening. Abend is evening, and Clique is a group of people.
It's a gang of people playing, doing some stuff together. And by the way, I put in the URL into the chat here, and Matthias of Klickenabend, I see him here. So he is listening. So better take care, Andreas, what you're saying now. And by the way, just let me say hello to Mauve, the designer of the cost. I see Chris, great to see you. I see Claude, so the designer of the Grand Trunk Journey. I see Markus Pöppelschieber and several other persons here. So have a great time, because Andreas will tell us more about Klickenabend first, and then we will go to Mallorca. So, but Klickenabend, you surely must have some highlight videos, or were there some surprises where you met a person first and then were really impressed, or so please give us some anecdotes here, Andreas.
We have a lot of highlights. You didn't ask me that before, so that's now spontaneously, but okay, that's fine. One of my preferred highlights, which I tell people who are not in the board game industry, is that I interviewed one guy who has a basic impression on my whole life. I interviewed. I'm also a lot of in role playing and horror games, and I interviewed Peter. No, not Peter Jackson. What is it? Let me check.
It must be Peter Jackson. So do you mean of Games Workshop, or which one?
No. Cthulhu Wars is one of his
no,
games.
that's Sandy Peterson.
Sandy Peterson. Right. I interviewed Sandy Peterson, and I didn't do my research before. And normally, I know a lot before in front because I'm a geek, but I didn't research Sandy Peterson. I just asked him a lot of questions on the camera, on the videos in Essen about the game. And then I asked what he did before. And he said, he was a designer of computer games. And I said, all right, perhaps I know some of them. And he told me, perhaps. I said, what kind of games? And he then told me Doom and Age of Empires, and my face was dripping. And I said, holy shit, I'm not in computer games now, but you designed my whole childhood time at that point. And I was impressed that I interviewed a guy now about board games, which did so many computer games. That was quite fun. And I remember a time at Nuremberg. I remember two more stories. We see how much time we have. Where I was in line to get some food. It was from the, I think there was, now it's Spielverlage e.V. I think the name was different at the time. And I was in the line, and there was a guy in front of me who was speaking English. And I like English US and UK people because they're so much up in a different country, and I like to speak to them. German guys I see here all the time.
Bloody Germans.
And she just told me, yeah, he's doing a small website, and tell something about games, like a database or something like that. And I said, huh, that's strange. And then he asked me a lot what I did. And then I asked him, what is your website called? And then he said, Board Game Geek. And I said, holy shit.
Yeah, well,
And it was one of the guys from Board Game Geek, but I didn't recognize him. It was not Eric. I just sent it Eric.
Scotty, probably Aldi.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That was pretty funny. And one of the jokes which a guy from the industry did on me was Uwe Rosenberg. Just had to look
Just to look at the cover of for the name.
Right. We were at the castle event from Heidelberger Burg event, and we spoke about a game from Frank Stark, and Frank Stark wasn't there. And I didn't know. We speak a little bit about him, and I asked him, "Can I interview him?" And I said, "No, that's not possible." I said, "Why? There is no Frank Stark." What? Yeah, that's a fake name. It's even if every publisher has got a game and they don't know the author or they don't want to show it, they write on it Frank Stark. And he told it to me so normal that I believed in that, because the board game industry is crazy. And I said, all right, very funny. Okay, nice to know. Few years later, I was at the castle event again, and we played a prototype, and I asked the guy for his name, and he told me he's Frank Stark. And I looked at him and said, yeah, all right, nice try. What's your real name?
Yeah, well, it can happen.
And it took 2 or 3 years that Uwe did get me with that. I hate him for that. Not really, well. I love him for that, but it was very nice. Now that will not happen again, but
yeah, but it's still a very nice story. And I think the only gaming author that is under several names is John Bora, Harry Wu, and so many other names that he's having. So I don't know the reason for this, but Bora is Bora, probably. But so one thing, maybe you don't know this. Andreas is not running Klickenabend with his friends, with his partners full time. He has a full profession, so that's on the side, right?
Hobby, yeah.
But because he still thinks for his job plus Klickenabend, that's not enough. So he, at a certain point, he said, well, let's organize an event for editors of gaming companies and for some designers. And on top of that, let's not do this on a weekend in a stupid hotel in Germany, but let's move to Mallorca in the Mediterranean and rent a couple of fincas there to have a great time. So what was the reason for this, and when did you actually start with doing this?
I tried to get the English word. What's Zufall?
It's random. It's
random
by accident.
By accident, yes. It was. Let me check when the game did come out. It was the game Finca. It was published, the first edition, on 2009, and the author is Ralf Zerlinde, who is my privately king of Mallorca, I would guess. He was at that time the owner of Finca Yorca. And most of the fincas which you can reserve go over his portal. So he knows every guy at Mallorca and every finca there. And we wanted to do a video about finca. Jörg was with Klickenabend at that time, and Ralf asked us to do the video at the finca in Spain, at his finca actually, and he would invite us for a weekend. I couldn't come. I don't know why. I had something with my wife. And we couldn't take the time. And Jörg went to Mallorca with his wife and filmed a donkey and the finca and did some crazy stuff there. And Ralf told Jörg that's fine, but I want to see Snooker, which is my internet name, here as well. And he asked me if I could come 1 year later. And due to the fact that I know a lot of guys in the industry, it would be fun if some of them who are nice would come with me. I said, all right, sounds like a nice plan. So he asked Hans and Glück, and I asked some guys that we plan to go there. And Ralph is almost one of the nicest guy which I know.
Yes.
Which is also funny because when you normally see him and you don't know him on the street in the night, you would change the boardwalk because he's very big and he has got a lot of golden. What's the name?
Golden stuff. So
golden stuff on him. So he looks like a big pimp, but he's one of the nicest guy which you can meet. So we went there with some of publishers. I think we were 7 or 8, and we played. We stayed there, I think 4 or 5 days, and played a lot and spoke about games. It was pretty nice. And Ralph and the others asked if this couldn't be done on a yearly basis. And I said, yeah, sure, but somebody has to organize it. Yeah, you will do that. All right, I tried. And it went a little bit bigger, from 7 to 10 people to 12. And now we are we call at our maximum, which is only 25 people. And I'm one of them, so 24. But we are there with prototypes from almost every publisher, which is quite big, and also small ones.
Yeah.
I think last year we had 119 prototypes there.
Yeah.
And I think when you have got more people, it's not getting better because then you don't have the time enough to play the games.
Yes.
25 is pretty cool, and I organize it. So I try to take everything away from the people, so they only come there to work and have fun. And I also have a lot of fun there. So we play the prototypes. I'm there to get the food and the drinks, and also to organize some events like tabletop quiz and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. But getting back to the chat, by the way, hello, Matt. And he's mentioning we have to get back to fake names for a second. And he's, of course, right, because Michael Tummelhofer, St. Petersburg,
Right.
St. Petersburg is also a fake name, although it's a combined name of 3 persons, 3 designers. So it's Bernd Brunhofer of Hans im Glück. Then it's Michael Bruinsma of 999 Games, who also did the Dutch edition. And then it is from Rio Grande game, Tommelson. It's Jay, right? It's Jay Tommelson. So this is a combination of these 3 names over there. But it's in board gaming, it's rarely done. So I'm looking forward to your fake name, Matt, there for Squaring Circle World.
I think the Schlacht in Raab game has also a fake name on it.
Yes, because it's a collaboration of several persons at Ravensburg at that time.
Right.
I think.
Right.
Yeah, but getting back to the event. So what Andreas hinted on, and what makes it so special as for people like me. So first, you don't have to do anything. So and literally this is true. Yeah, well, you have you have to grab your luggage and you have to grab your prototypes at home, and you should have a plane ticket as well. So and the destination should be Palma de Mallorca, but from there you will even get picked up at the airport, driven to
most of the time.
Most of the time. Sometimes if the flight is delayed for 6 hours or it's very late in the evening, yeah, well, it's something. But normally it's carefree, so you get up to the fincas, and over there we are having breakfast. We are having, most of the time we are having dinner over there, and then Andreas and his co-organizers, they will bring food and of course lots of drinks for the day. So, and it's in the huge fridge over there. So literally, you only have to set up your games and play with the other people. That's all. And this is so special. And what I cannot really say in 2 strong words is that Spain is special. So especially here for Germans.
For Germany, yeah.
Especially we Germans, we have our work schedule and we do our things as we do them. But in Spain, first day you try to be in German schedule. So you do I get up, I type mails and do my normal stuff, then breakfast and do this. 3 days into Mallorca, in the morning you say, well, first thing, let's have breakfast and then do a game and later maybe do the mail. So it's very relaxing. So make no mistake, it's really work. It's work because with the 25 people, we play games from morning till you drop into bed. So it's 18 hours a day that we are playing games. But you can take a break after a long game and jump into the pool if you want to do this. And especially what is great is all the wonderful people. So make no mistake, board gaming is as competitive as any other industry. So it's competitive, but the people being there, they are from other companies, from Asmodee, from Pegasus, from Cosmos, Ravensburger, Amigo, from smaller, larger companies. But we try to make all the games better. So we talk about the games, we give feedback, and that makes it so special because it's camaraderie. Is this a term within a competitive field? And I like this a lot. And I cannot really thank Andreas enough for organizing this. This is basically my highlight of the year. But how hard is it for you doing all this organization, or how many hours do you spend doing this?
First, as an impression, in my job, that kind of an event between competitors wouldn't be possible in computer business. It's not possible in any way. And you don't feel that there are competitors at this event. It's basically, it is. We have some highlights there as well, but basically they try to get the board games better. And we also have a few authors there as well each year.
Yes.
And the publishers look at his prototypes. And it's not that they are getting angry if another publisher say, give me that game. It's more like, all right, we give you feedback about the game. And if it is a good game, the publishers discuss around them each other what publisher would be best. And they don't schummeln.
Cheat. They don't cheat.
Yeah, they don't cheat in that way. I was there with a lot of discussions. It's very interesting. It's so familiar, even if they are competitors, because every guy there gets a positive feedback or a negative feedback, but he gets a better look at his board game. And so they all try to help each other with a good feedback. From organization point of view, it is some work because I cannot play all the games which are there. I try really hard. There's also the possibility, of course, that we film there some videos for Click and Abend. We do that as well. And normally the guys who want to be there don't say no. I don't know why. And we do a list. So I ask the publishers, can we speak about the game in an audio podcast? Can we do a video? If not, that's fine. So the guy can trust me. If I see a game and I cannot speak about it, I will not speak about it. So that's important. From the organization, it's quite easy because I have some helpers. At the first beginning, my wife helped me a lot. Now, due to the fact that we have 2 children, that's not possible. But I have got Rolf with me the last years who helped a lot. And I ask a lot of guys who help me. So if we grab some guys in the car, I ask, can somebody come with us to buy some stuff? Or can you help me to get stuff out of the car? And also some guys help us with cooking sometimes or with cleaning. So it is work. And due to the fact that sometimes some guys miscompare it as a holiday because it is not a holiday.
No.
Sometimes there is a little bit stress, but normally it's quite fun.
It is. I can really agree on this. This is wonderful. But although you get quality feedback. You get quality feedback from the people because these are all authors and editors, of course. So this is wonderful gaming-wise. But just to say, sometimes it can be also... stressful is not the right term, but it can be somewhat strange because editors, as you probably know, they overanalyze. And so sometimes a short game that takes place that can be completed in 30 minutes takes 2 hours, because one or two players, they have to, each and every move has to analyze, and these can be something you are feeling that you are playing tabletop simulator, and because everything takes so long. But I think that's the nature of the beast. Editors want to ask questions on minor things all the time, but maybe this is what makes the game better in the end.
It's pretty cool to see how much heart there is inside the game from each editor,
Yes.
and how much thinking they try to get inside the testing of the games and to make them better. I never looked at it this way, due to the fact that we are doing it now for 10 years. We saw a lot of inside stuff, and I love to know these facts. It's quite nice. It's awesome.
Yeah, and there is, although this is not written, there's not a written code of conduct. But if you, everything that happens there stays there. So there are no company secrets that suddenly go outside. And as Andreas mentioned, if we feel this game should better move to that publisher instead of that publisher, it's fine. But we still want to make the game in the end better, and this is really wonderful. So if maybe the overseas friends, now I'm seeing Jason as well, so, and he's saying sorry that I'm late. No, sorry, if Andreas is there, you have to be there in time. No, but if you get a chance overseas, if COVID-19 situation gets better, I think what is really important is that you have a nice place. So of course you can do this in any hotel, and then, but it's different. It's really different, because Mallorca, especially maybe the US viewers, they don't know it. It's a wonderful, beautiful island. A lot of people just think about Palma de Mallorca and the huge beaches where there are hundreds of thousands of tourists in normal times. No, if you drive up to the northeast, it's simply a beautiful place. And this, I think, is important. Then, of course, selecting the right people. And as Andreas said earlier, yeah, most probably this could be done in a larger hotel with 50 people at Mallorca, or with 100 people, but then it would not be the same thing, because with 25 people you can talk to everyone during the week, and you will talk and you will play with everyone, and you will be in the pool with everyone. And at breakfast, we are not always arriving at breakfast at the same time, but maybe within 15 or 30 minutes. So if one day you are talking to that person at breakfast, and not about gaming, about something else, and then next day to another person. And this is really what I think builds this friendship, even if we are competitors, and this makes it really, really special. Yeah.
This is one of the hard things for the organization, right? To pick the people who's going to Mallorca next year and next year and next year. That's a basic stock, like Uli, who's there, I don't know, since 8 years or since 7 years. Who's that? He's fixed that. All right. With his music style, he's already fixed that. Everyone will miss him if he's not there. But we try to randomize a little bit. And it's pretty hard. I have an email list, I think with 50 people now at the moment. Also from Quint is also on it, because they went there 2 or 3 times. So also some foreign publishers. And I need a yes, because the booking is privately. I pay everything in front private. So I need definitely yes if somebody's coming. And it's hard to tell a guy, oh, sorry, I'm full, but that happens. I try to mix it a little bit up, but of course, I love it that always some guys are every time there. It's Schmidt was every time at the event. You were there, Amigo, who's every time there.
Ravensburger is most of the time, I think.
A funny story. One time, Ravensburger didn't want to come.
Okay.
And they asked me if they can reserve the place for next year. This year, it will not happen. I said, all right, that's fine. And then 4 weeks before the event, Ravensburger called me on my mobile. That's also one preference of the organization. I have everybody on my mobile. Sometimes it's pretty nice. And they asked me if they can have a seat. I said, I will try. And I tried my best. I said, why? And he told me, I'm working on 5 or 6 board game projects, and everybody which I have to work is in Mallorca. I need to go there. I did give it my best, and we did get a place, but it was a quite fun story.
Yeah, sometimes it's amazing. Sometimes it's this industry is really amazing. But yeah, it's a really wonderful time, and it brings a lot of attention to the games on the tables. And what I also really like is that we have the small games from Amigo, trick-taking games, or small games from Schmidt-Spiele, and then we have games from Spielworxx, which last 2 hours. We have games from, of course, one of the persons we did not mention yet, who's always there, is Peter Eggert, and from
Right.
Eggert Spiele.
Right.
And
Right.
he had, of course, Mombasa and Grand Trunk. No, that is my game, actually, Great Western Trails. He brought it, and these are long players, but people are
I think last
coming
year
to
you
the.
played a game for 6 hours from Matthias
Uh,
Kramer, right? A prototype. Was
Weimar,
this six
that's
hours?
Weimar. That's Weimar. That is actually for Compass games, yes. But Matthias Kramer is often there as well, so it's wonderful having him on the table too. Yeah, that was basically a full day of gaming after breakfast. So with breaks in the pool, of course, but that brought the game, or that advanced the game a lot. So that was also wonderful. Yeah, so let me just check the chat here. So if there are any questions. Yeah, and Matt, you're right. This event sounds like heaven. It is. It is. Really, it's wonderful. Um,
It's a week full of geeks. Even the you have to remember you are on a place where when you mention a board game or an author or an illustrator, you can speak right to the next guy next to you because he knows what you mean.
and another question from Matt. What kind of bribes do you accept, Andreas?
Right.
Yeah, bribes. So
What is Matt?
Matt
Is he an
is
author or a publisher?
Matt is a designer from. He is a brilliant designer from the US, and
All right.
he has a couple of published games. But Spielworxx will have 2 games from him in the next 2 years. So I think he should be in there. So for
I
next
see.
year. So let me
At
see.
the
And
moment, I have 10 space open for next year
so
because I didn't get every feedback back. So you can ask Uli for my contact data and send me an email.
yeah,
I will try my best. I don't promise anything, but I try.
Yeah, and then of course he's also saying my fake designer name would be Max Power. So immediately delete him from that list, so we don't have to talk any further with and think about him at Mallorca. So that's done, Matt. Okay, Andreas, this was wonderful, and my intention for today was, so I had guests, publishers, I had designers. And what I really wanted to show, and I think Andreas did this really well, is that there is more in gaming. And especially in these COVID times, social contacts are most important. It's that you are getting together at a gaming table, play stuff together, and that even in a competitive industry with Asmodee as a big guy in the room and lots of smaller ones, it is possible. It is possible to work together and having a great time at the same time. Sorry.
Asmodee is also on the event the last years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, thank you very much, Andreas, because we are already here at 35 minutes. It was my
Right.
pleasure having you here. And of course, regards to your kids and your lovely wife. That's for sure. And next week, we will have another regular episode with just me presenting some Spielworxx and some industry news. And I will probably focus on the cost, which is recently released. And to everybody, every viewer, thank you for your time. If you would like to talk about a topic in advance or drop me a mail in advance so that I can pick it up in a future episode here, drop me a mail at uli@spielworxx.de. That is uli@spielworxx.de. And till then, bleibt gesund. Black Lives Matter. Bye.
Bye.